right, you guys, podcast time.
It's quieter.
Fucking podcasting right now.
Chew quieter.
And now, to the podcast studio.
Okay. We're back.
Yes, we're back.
Really quick, just a quick rest in peace to my grandfather, the patriarch of my family. Passed away this morning, 93 years old. Came to this country way back in early 50s, legally, might I add, with a bunch of kids and a bunch of money in his pocket from selling a business that he had in Mexico. Bought a house in Norwalk, California. It was a two-bedroom house that he did an addition on to have 3 bedrooms because he had 6 kids.
Oh, geez, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah. So,
but I think that's still a little bit of kids for the time.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because my mom is one of 11 and my dad's one of 7.
Yeah. Back then they didn't have, the same access to birth control, nor did those Catholics ever want to use it. So
no, they just kept having kids and not even any Victoria's Secret back then.
Yeah.
Just moo-moo. Just grandma, just Mima and moo-moo.
Mima and Papa. So, yeah. So,
that's being funny, but sorry for the loss. And
thank you.
Sounds like he came and did everything that he had to do the right way and produced you at the end.
Yeah. I mean, he has children that have become very successful. My dad went to high school, graduated high school, went to college, finished college, got a job in aerospace. 2 of my aunts, one of them worked for Del Taco in high school, went to school, finished high school, went to college, continued to work for Del Taco, and is now, I think, like a senior vice president of the Western region operations.
Where's my fucking Del Taco passes, motherfucker?
My uncle, he died at an early age, relatively early age. He had a lot of complications with his health. My other aunt is a school teacher, and then my other aunt, she didn't really work at all. I don't think she finished high school or anything like that. She was the only one that really didn't materialize too much.
Married housewife. Housewife.
She did the housewife thing, but she lived off of the government pretty much. She was on welfare.
We all have one of those. One of those.
Yeah, she was on welfare, and then she discovered, if I foster children, I'll get paid because I'm fostering kids. So she did, and I think she's still doing that, to be honest with you. So,
okay.
So he did pretty good for himself. He retired, I think, at 65, 67. He worked for a bottling company. I think he had a really decent retirement nest egg. He sold his house after my grandmother had passed away. And then he built a house behind my aunt's house. That was going to be his retirement home and that sort of thing. And that's where he lived until recently, until he got really sick and he was in the hospital for the last week, and finally passed this morning. So rest in peace, Jose Mercado.
Rest in peace.
All right. So now that the depressing stuff is out of the way, let's get to some other morbid shit, because right now we are currently under a tornado watch in my county. Pretty much the entire Southwest is currently under a severe storm alert.
Severe storm alert. Let me see. I know you told me this yesterday, and we talked about maybe changing our recording schedule, but I didn't even look at the weather. But yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah. So we have a tornado warning up until 9 p.m. tonight. The brunt of the storm that is supposed to be coming through my area is supposed to be arriving any minute now. And then hopefully we don't have anything more severe than a tornado warning. Do you know the difference between a warning and a watch?
Is it distance to epicenter?
No. So a tornado watch is basically like I have the ingredients for tacos. A tornado warning is I'm about to eat these fucking tacos.
So they're already made. So that's what I was thinking. I thought it was
Yeah.
like a proximity to you have the stuff that could come and get you, but it's not always going to get you.
Yeah. So if they issue a tornado, I think I had it backwards early when I said it. We're under a tornado watch right now. If it gets any worse to a tornado warning, then I might have to skip out, because what that basically means is someone had already spotted a tornado somewhere and it's on the way here. So I told the wife if she gets an alert on the phone, just come bang on my office door.
Run over here and grab me.
Yeah.
Because you're
lightning
kind
and
of
thunder
like
right now is going crazy.
Yeah, there's stuff there, but it doesn't look like there might be something like Lawrenceburg. Like the biggest red area I can see is like between Florence and Russellville.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that's Alabama.
Yeah, it's going through the whole area.
It's still in the northwest portion of Alabama, almost just coming at an angle there.
Huntsville's probably getting pounded right now.
Yeah, Huntsville's in a little bit of it, but Florence is kind of like right in the mix of it right now, getting pounded.
Chris Meehan's down there. Oi, look at this rain night.
That's not a rain. This a rain.
That's not rain. This is rain. That's not a knife. This is a knife. My Australian accent probably sucks.
I think mine's more of a British accent. Maybe
Probably.
it's Canadian. Who knows?
Yours is like a cross between Canadian and Scottish,
Oh, okay. There you go.
which is awkward because it's like almost French.
Jeez. Fucking frog.
Chris is listening to this right now like, fuck you guys.
Oh, jeez.
14, 15, 20. Love you, Chris. He hates us right now. It's all right. He'll get over it. I'm probably going to see him at this month's Cars and Coffee in Nashville.
Nice. He sent me a message last week after he was watching the episode. He's like, I got a smile on my face today. It was a picture of the screenshot of the show. I'm like, oh, nice. Someone's watching. It's not me.
Yeah, you never watch.
I
just
still need to go back.
Is it just the voice, your voice that you don't like listening to?
Yeah, just don't like listen to my voice.
That's very awkward.
But I still haven't gone back and watched the rest of the Angel episode, which I keep wanting to, and every time I go to find it or pull it up, something happens, and I just walk away and forget. So
look, it's a 2.5 hour episode. We went on a tangent.
I know. I looked at it and went, holy hell.
We had some drinks and we just started talking shit, and it was fun though. I still want to have him and Lamb Chop on at the same time, and maybe see if we can go 3 hours with them.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, come on. People listen to Joe Rogan that has 3.5 hour podcasts all the time. So it's not like people aren't listening to long podcasts.
Yeah. If it's good, they'll listen for 3 hours on a drive or split it up.
Yeah.
Or if you're dumb like me, you watch 20 minutes and then get sidetracked and then don't watch the rest of it. Dipshit.
I'd be having a drink right now, and just to honor my grandfather's death, because he used to love Chivas. He drank Chivas all the time.
That's a very brown drink.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Chivas Regal.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had it except for when I was a kid. I would just steal some from his. Like he would just have his cup right there, and I'd be like,
I don't think I've ever actually drank it. I think I've seen it. I remember seeing it around being as a kid, but I don't think I've ever purchased a bottle or even gone somewhere and ordered it and had a drink of it. So maybe I should.
Is it whiskey or
honor your grandfather?
Is it whiskey or brandy?
Idea. No idea.
I have a feeling it's brandy, but I don't see him drinking brandy. I see him drinking more whiskey.
It's Scotch.
Oh, I had no idea. That makes sense. He was an astute fellow.
Yeah. It sounds like a beaner drink, but it's Scotch.
Huh. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
He used to get drunk, right? And then put on Mexican music like mariachis or something like that. And then he starts singing with it and start crying.
Drinking Scotch, which is actually, it's actually produced in Scotland. It is actually a true Scotch. Huh. Who knew?
What is it with Mexicans getting drunk and listening to like old music and crying? Because when I was younger, much younger, we used to hang out at my friend's.
I'm sorry.
We used to hang out at my friend's garage and get drunk and listen to oldies, like the Art LeBeau show and shit like that. You know, Memories of El Monte type. Those old cassettes and get sentimental.
Yeah. The lake memories would come out.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, like there's like four guys in a garage just drunk, shooting pool, all teary eyed and shit. Like, like that kind of crying, you know?
Ugly cry.
Yeah, the ugly cry.
The ugly cry.
And then
I don't know. It's
and then the tape would end, and we'd be all looking at each other like, faggot.
Well, the funny thing is, it's not generational. It just happens. Because we're at my sister's house for Easter, and my brother-in-law, we're listening to classic rock whole dinner, and then after they finish the wine and the champagne, I didn't drink at all on Easter, which is really weird. Probably because I was hungover from Friday night, but not hungover from alcohol. I was hungover because I think I overindulged in gummies. I might have had 30 milligrams of gummy on Friday night. So Saturday I was like,
hold on, might have. You're not counting or anything else. You're just popping them like Tic Tacs.
Well, I got this big one. My kid got me this giant one that was like 150 milligrams, and I cut it, and I was cutting it, and I remember how big the piece I ate. So
it's in your cheek like a jawbreaker.
Yeah. So we went to dinner with friends at went to sushi. Had a few Sapporos and some sake. Went back to their house after. Had a couple of beers by hanging out and just chilling. And then we came home. It was pretty early. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. We came home, and I was like, I'm gonna freaking fire up a joint. So I fired up a joint. I went outside and I smoked the whole joint to my head, to myself. Mm-hmm. And then I thought it was a good idea to pour myself a glass of rum. I poured a glass of rum, sat and watched a little bit of the league. And then I was like, okay, I'm tired, but I really can't sleep yet. So I think I went and grabbed a gummy and took a slice of it. And I know I overindulged in that because the next day I was just like jello, just like.
How are you cutting the gummy? With a razor blade or a knife or what?
A knife. This kitchen knife, just put it on a chopping board and just.
I imagine you like putting this
like
gummy bear, this big ass gummy bear on like this piece of cloth, and you have like a surgical mask on and you're using a scalpel, just carefully taking off a leg or taking off an arm, half the torso.
Little more like a sushi chef, just sitting there, just slicing the
thin slices.
Off it. Yeah, thin slices.
So it's like tuna.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I think I might have been a little not all there at the point, and I think I know I did. I get by the way I was feeling the next day, and then even Sunday, and I didn't drink that much, so I know I wasn't hungover. I didn't, the drunk hungover where you feel like, oh, I'm sick. I'm gonna freaking I drank too much. None of that. I was just like rubber, like just like jelly.
Like you need a third nap.
Yeah, and then Saturday morning, I think I woke up at like 12:30. I think I had to get woken up Saturday morning, and then Sunday morning, I didn't want to get up until like 10.
Dad, get Easter. Up! I want my Easter basket.
Well, luckily my kids are older now, so they weren't up yet either. So it works out. It worked out for me on Sunday. So
did they enjoy their Easter basket? By the way, your adult children.
Yes,
my. Did they enjoy?
Except for it was raining when they couldn't fly their kites.
Oh God, I forgot about the kites.
Yeah, so we bought these little glider planes for my niece and nephews, and they have a 2-story house. I went over to their house and they were flying it down the stairs, and I was like sitting there taking a drink of lemonade or water or something, and a freaking thing just comes hits you right in the side of the face. Like, oh, all right, okay. So but
this is what I think about your fucking plane. Break it.
No, I can't. I don't do that. That was old me. New me is like, that's funny as hell. Go throw it around the house. Let break away more of your mom's shit.
You ever been to somewhere where you and your friends were just drunk and someone passed out, and you get if there's a hot dog available, you grab a hot dog and you start slapping them in the face with it. And then you get to the point where they're about to wake up and you pull your dick out and you pretend like it was your dick smacking them in the face.
No, I haven't.
It's so goddamn funny. Sometimes it gets violent because they think, holy shit, you motherfucker, you were slapping in the face with your dick. Sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes they'll just think it's funny. Like, your fucking dick gave me a mushroom print. Shit like that. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
No. All right, so now whatever. So I wasn't drinking on Sunday, and they were drinking, and then my brother-in-law changed the classic rock to the 80s Spanish music, and it was like Maná and all these groups I don't really know, but I've kind of heard of.
Like Malo type shit, or
no, like Maná. Maná.
I'm not too familiar with that. No,
they're like an 80s or 90s band. He's younger. He's
like
he's a little younger.
Like Menudo.
I think it's still even newer than Menudo.
Okay.
But it does like, and he was like all reminiscing. That same thing. It was like he was like almost crying, like, "Oh, I remember so many good memories." I'm like, it's not generational. It's not like just the music you're listening to. It's just what happens, I guess.
Is he white or Mexican?
No,
he has to be Mexican. He's listening to that, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a brown thing.
It's a brown thing, I think. I think it's just a sentimental brown thing. It's like it's one of those things where you grow up and you're never allowed to show your feelings, so you get drunk and you show your feelings.
Yeah. I mean, because like we've talked about before, Latin men in general, they mask their feelings quite a bit because it's the machismo, it's the macho thing to
don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy, yeah.
Don't be a pussy.
So maybe that's it. When that's the code breaker is alcohol and sad music.
Release. Yeah. All right, we have to do some more investigation on this.
I'll tell you what. Next week, I'm going to get me a bottle of Chivas Regal. I'm going to look at some pictures of my grandfather, and we're going to play some mariachi music and see what happens.
Let's see what happens. I think you're going to be. There's going to be some sadness in there. Maybe even some tears of joy.
Yeah,
and everything. Just that remembrance. Just all everything's going to come. Everything's going to come through.
I'm going to start spilling the beans. I remember when I was 11 at Christmas. He gave me a crucifix, and I didn't want it because I wanted a toy. But now I just really cherish it.
There you go. Work all those feelings out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Unless it's a 3-hour podcast.
You're going to have one shot at Chivas going, fuck, how did Grandpa drink this shit?
How did I drink this when I was 10?
Yeah, I'm like, what was I doing? I remember someone giving me scotch when I was a very young age because I was like interested, whatever. And one of my uncles was like, "Here, have a drink." And I remember tasting it, and it was scotch, and it that fire down your belly. And I remember it pretty vividly. And I still drank it after. Who knows?
You ever had sake?
I had sake on Friday.
Huh. So it's basically rice wine, right?
It's rice wine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's not distilled in a special way. It's just rice distilled, kind of like, or fermented rice.
Fermented rice, like wine. Yeah.
Okay. So, are you a fan of it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not.
And it depends on. You really have to like do the tasting, kind of like you do with whiskey. You know there's shit on the market that you can go buy in a bottle, and that's typically what you get at a Japanese restaurant when they give you that little white carafe and there's some mystery juice in it. Well, that stuff is all in a box. And it's in one of those dispensers. You know the Jägermeister dispenser that they have at bars? Where they put the Jägermeister bottles on the top? Well, this is a box. They throw this box in there and then do kind of like a soda machine. And it just heats the sake up, and that's what they pour in. And that is the worst freaking sake in the world. But if you go like to a good liquor store or even a Japanese market that has all the different bottles, there's some stuff that's like hundreds of dollars for a bottle of sake. God, and just like wine, it's just the different, they use a different rice, a different fermenting, the different flavors that go into it, and it can be really good or really bad.
You know, the Japanese really love whiskey.
Yes, Japanese whiskey is some of the best whiskey on the planet still. Too.
Really?
Yeah. You again go to your good liquor store and look at some of the bottles. There's a bottle of Japanese whiskey at Total Wine that I think it was like $1,400. And it was 500 milliliters, just a smaller bottle, and it was like $1,400.
I found that I'm getting ripped off out here in my little town with whiskey. I found that everything is marked up about $7 to $10 from Murfreesboro, and it's a little, and everything,
just everything, not taxes or anything, just a markup.
So I was gonna buy a bottle of Travelers, and I was like, it's everything that I've heard is it's basically Buffalo Trace because it's made from the same distiller.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, so this bottle is $57. Buffalo Trace was $37. I was like, what the fuck? Why is it so much more? I'm not buying that. Then I talked to my friend Rob Ryan, and he says, like, dude, it's like the same price as Buffalo Trace. And he starts telling me, or I think he sent me a link somewhere. And sure enough, it's like the same price. And I was like, what the fuck?
So just out where you're at, there's a remote access fee.
I don't know, but it's a little upsetting. I'm going to drive an extra 35 minutes just to go get cheaper whiskey. When
you pull into town, I make my stops. That's what I usually have to do. Well, it's funny because we have that with gas out here where we'll be 20, 30 cents more than if I was to fill up in Gilbert or Mesa. And I just call it the middle of nowhere fee. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, might be.
But I just make sure if I'm going out that way, I'm checking gas prices and fill it up before I come home.
Yep. So you mentioned Jägermeister. Did you ever drink that? Or are you a fan?
Funny thing is, I hate black licorice, but I used to drink a lot of Jägermeister.
Same here. I don't know why, but it was the opposite of a kryptonite for me. Like it kept me going. Like I could drink a whole bottle of it, or at least I used to. I used to drink a whole bottle of it and not really feel the effects. I don't know why.
When I lived in Redondo Beach, there was a local watering hole not too far from the house, and I used to be able to drive there and crawl home.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like all locals in there, and we played. I think there was a dart tournament on a Tuesday, a pool tournament on a Thursday, Monday night, whatever. So it was always like a day that had something happening. And the thing was, everyone's like Jaeger shots, and Jaeger was like the big thing back then. It was all just laid out. And then one year they did this special event, like an anniversary party, and they had all this long it was, I don't know, like 10 feet of ice blocks that they made like a tunnel, and then they poured shots of Jägermeister into it, and it went down the ice, and then you just at the end you sucked on the ice to get your Jaeger shot. And that was what he did constantly.
I just realized why it probably didn't affect me, because I used to drink it with Red Bull.
With Red Bull, yeah, you have the Red Bull with it when you had a drink, and then you had shots of it in between.
Yeah. It was the Red Bull that counteracted it.
I don't think I could stomach it now.
Probably.
Did you ever have the Baron Jaeger, the Honey Jaeger?
I don't think so. It sounds familiar, but no, I don't think I ever did.
That was probably my favorite, was that Honey Jaeger. It was similar consistency, but a light honey colored. And then you pour it out. It was a little thicker than just regular alcohol. And it was you kept it in the freezer. There was always a bottle in the freezer at the house for the longest time.
I might have to try it just because. So this,
I can't, because
there's something you wanted to talk about, and I think this is an interesting topic: manscaping.
Yeah. So we talk about all kinds of weird stuff in here, and we get sidetracked onto a lot of manly things, but also there's a lot of other things that are. I think we still have an episode that we're trying to get down. I think I need to get that taken care of, about men's health and mental health, but it's also taking care of yourself. Like, you see how many people that men that just don't take care of themselves. Just they don't get their haircuts regularly. They don't shave regularly. They don't try to maintain a certain self esteem or self preservation for themselves. So it's just one of those things that like who the routines. I mean, I think I probably go a little far, and I started just like as a joke doing the pedicures, and then I was going everywhere, and I just post a picture of a pedicure or went for a pedicure or something like that. But it's something that I now enjoy doing, and my feet feel so much better now. I was always a chronic athlete's feet, constant problems with my toenails cracking or splitting or stuff like that. And after I started taking care of my feet and my toes and toenails, my feet are way healthier than they've ever been. So I kind of attest some of this to being better for my body. Not necessarily I'm doing it because I want people to look at me. I'm doing it because I feel like I feel better with doing these things.
I know what you're talking about, because as soon as I started shaving my balls, like
until you don't do it for 3 days.
Yeah. I started shaving my balls, and my balls were like, after a while, like,
this feels good. Yeah.
I'm not as sweaty anymore.
Yeah, but then you got to remember to do it in 3-4 days, or else you go, oh, what's the Velcro in my pocket?
We have a couple of friends that shave their entire body. I don't know if I should say their names, but one of them has been on the show before. Jake. And the other one has we've talked about before. And he's actually shown us his testicles before, just because he thought it was funny. Jeremy Clatton. So I don't think it's odd anymore for guys to shave down, just because I think it is healthier. You're not as sweaty because there's not a lot of humidity going on there, especially if you live in Florida or Tennessee like I do, or in areas like you do where there's just brutal heat.
Yeah, yeah. But there's so much more to it. And it's like the taboo is like, oh, you're a sissy boy, you're manscaping,
Yeah.
but it's that there's I don't know. I feel like just taking care of yourself at that level, as well as trying to help your mental health, your physical health, like all of that all goes together into a full package on keeping yourself clean together. I mean, look at soap. Before you had Dial, you had Irish Spring, and that's all you really had for soap for that was like men that didn't smell like a woman. I mean, you had lava soap for dirty mechanic hands, but you're not scrubbing your nuts or your asshole with that.
Right.
I mean, you could, but I wasn't.
So I just discovered that the body wash that I've been using is not really good for everything. I mean, it's good for the body, but I've been using it on my head also, and it's been drying out my scalp like a motherfucker.
Huh.
So I was like, okay, I realized I'm not supposed to be using this on my scalp. So I bought like a purposed shampoo type thing for my head. My wife was like, I told you, you can't be using that shit on everything on your fucking body. And I'm like, yes, I know, you're
but
right.
You don't have hair, so I don't see what the difference is.
So the scalp is different from like your arm or your leg or your ass or your balls. Your head has different pores and follicles. So I think it was something about your head is not supposed to always be dry. And if you're always shaving your head and you're using this type of body wash that has a certain element to it, it's going to over dry your scalp.
Okay. I've never been a body wash guy. I'm a bar soap guy. And I think over the last 2 years, I've kind of graduated into like luxury bars now. So I get the Duke Cannon bars, the flavored scented bars. And I have this little pouch that it fits into that stays foamed up, and it's got a scrubber side and then a wash side. And I feel that since I've got that I tend to wash my body a little more, probably complete, as opposed to when I was younger, when you watched. I think I've seen a meme about where men wash and where they kind of wash and then the water will get to it. It's like you got your hot spots, your hair, your balls, your ass, and then that's it. And the rest is just like, whatever, I get soap here and there.
Yeah. I saw a meme about that one time too that said a woman will have 4 different bottles of washing material, and they're all purposeful for, the hair, the face, the body, that sort of thing. A guy will take lather from washing his balls and just put it right on top of his head and just wash his hair with that.
Exactly. Straight from the ass to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it happens.
It
kind of in a rush. Need a 5-minute shower. That's the way to do it.
Oh, I got in trouble for that this weekend. That it takes her so long to get dressed, and it takes me 5 minutes to get dressed. Get showered and dressed. It takes me about 8 minutes. It takes me about 15 minutes, but she's like, it's only like 6 minutes for you to get in the shower and out of the shower and dressed and out the door. And then you yell at me because I'm taking so long. I'm like, well, fucking start earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, late is late. If you know you take longer, start fucking earlier.
My wife, if we're going somewhere, it's a solid hour. She's in the bathroom. And then I'm on the couch flipping channels, waiting for her to get out, and she'll come downstairs. Aren't you going to go? Aren't we going anywhere? I'm like, I've been waiting for you to get out of the goddamn bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, well, we got to leave in like 10 minutes. I'm like, that's plenty of time.
I've already ate and had a drink and took off my shoes, and now I got to put them back on.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Like, it's not that serious, ladies. I know you do it for yourself, but why? Is it Is it a thing where, is it a self-conscious thing? What is it? I don't know. I don't get it. We might have to interview our wives one of these days about that. I don't think that'll go over very well.
Yeah, I'm like, how's that going to work?
You're like, nope.
Yeah. Let's interview your wife.
Nope.
But no, just I think I mean, from growing up, I remember like the older men, and I say older men, I was growing up, the men probably younger than me up to my age and even older, like they had freaking ear hair, like freaking forest coming out of the fucking ear like that.
I have to take care of that a lot.
Nose hair coming out of their freaking nose. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's clean. That's a nice clean. Although I shaved yesterday, and you can start to see the outline coming through.
I have to take care of my ears
these
once a
things
week.
have to get trimmed up because I get these little things that pop up and do these little horns, and then I got to like hide my horns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shaving places that need to be shaved, getting a manicure. I don't do manicure. I bite my nails, so I don't really do a manicure, but I usually try to go in and try to clean stuff up on my hands.
You want to know what's funny? Since I stopped smoking pot, I stopped biting my nails.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's a correlation.
You get paranoid and you just bite your nails?
Maybe.
It's old school paranoid. Parents
I don't know. Maybe.
You're going to get busted. Get busted for ditching school and smoking pot.
Yeah. What are you doing home? It's noon. What are you doing home? It's noon.
Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be at work?
Yeah. By the way, we're out of ice cream. Can you go to the store?
I need more corn pops. Too.
My mom one time. So my mom was a single mother raising 2 kids. And at the time she was dating a guy, and in this one summer, his son would come over and hang out with my brother and I. So there's 3 kids in the summer with not many places to go. We weren't really allowed to go anywhere. And she goes shopping. And at the time, single mom, struggling, like most do. So come I think Wednesday or Thursday, she's like, where did all the food go? I'm like, well, we ate it. It's like, why? How did you eat that much food? And who cooked it? I'm like, what the fuck you want me to do? Just look at it and not eat it and just starve?
What'd you guys eat?
Oh, I used to make like full on breakfast. Like she used to get ham steaks so we can have those on the weekend for breakfast. Mm-hmm. And I would just cook those up. We'd go through like a dozen eggs easily. Ice cream, of course. Ice cream was the first thing to go. Cereal, steak, chicken, like having like a full on meal for lunch.
You'd come in and cook the steak. That there was a steak in there. You'd cook that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's just pitiful sandwich meat still in there. And I'm like, fuck, I want to have a steak.
I guess we're having sandwiches for dinner because I had the steak for lunch. I think I could have been killed for doing that.
So it was shortly after that. She was like, you need to get a job. So I got a job. And I started working at a retirement home, which was fucking awful. One of my first things to do at that retirement home was to empty the trash cans in the laundry facilities. There was it was 4 floors. Each level had 3 laundry facilities. So there was 2 different trash cans in each laundry facility. For whatever reason, these old people wore a lot of diapers, and they would throw their diapers away in these trash cans. And I had to throw these trash cans out.
At least you weren't cleaning bedpans, I guess.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
Well,
fuck that. I think that's where I would draw the line.
Slightly better, but not much.
Yeah. But my other job there was they had a cafeteria, and I would serve them the food that was on the menus. So because I worked in the kitchen, I would feast on the same meals because there's always leftover shit. And they had big old walk-in refrigerators and freezers and all that. So I would take home shit.
Made your own steaks.
Yeah, I would. I literally would. I would take home shit. I would take home the steaks. I would take home loaves of bread.
Whenever was going to go bad.
No, not even. They just restocked. I'm like, fuck, check this out. I'm making fajitas tonight at home. I'm taking this bell pepper, this onion, taking this flank steak.
Okay.
So, needless to say, that job didn't last very long.
I would probably assume so.
Speaking of flank steak and shit like that, another topic I want to talk about was the best tacos you've ever had. You must have had a really good taco recently.
No, I didn't. And the reason I brought it up is because we talked about this is that I can't pinpoint the best taco I've ever had.
Chris is listening right now. Chris Meehan's listening right now like, oh, you mate, fucking tacos. Fucking tacos are gross. I need ketchup on them.
Ketchup on my tacos.
Fucking wild, man.
But then I started thinking about it today. So I've just gone over that. I sent you that list and I was like, going over like, okay, what is the best taco I've had? But I think situationally it's different. Best fish taco I've ever had is in San Felipe, a little stand in San Felipe. Going down to race Baja, I was probably 19. Went down to San Felipe for the first time. We pulled into town, and town was nothing back then. It was probably 2 or 3 taco shops and a liquor store. And we pull in this place, and they'd gone there all the time. The people I had gone with was my boss when I worked for Smart and Final. That's who I raced with. Went down there, and they saw these guys coming in town, and all of a sudden they just started setting everything up. They knew it was going to be a big giant order. We'd order like 100 tacos at a time for the team. So we'd go in there and he'd just order 100 tacos. And at the time they were 3 for $1, 4 for $1 for a fresh fish taco that was made like right in front of you. And, they put a big old scoop of the guac, and not the guac at tableside at El Torito.
It's make a vat of it type shit.
Yeah, it's the taqueria one where it's mixed, it's blended with water, like that. The thin guac style.
The avocado chili,
like avocado sauce with a little chili in it. Yeah, it's like an avocado sauce, not really a guac. But big old, I love that
shit. By the way,
big old scoop of that in there. Have your cabbage and your onions and cilantro in there, side of radishes and carrots on the side, and just sit there and just eat. And probably that first day, I believe I ate 30 tacos. I was 19 at the time, so it was okay. But I couldn't walk after that. That I was like, oh.
But there's levels to it, though, or I should say categories, because you have your street taco, you have your hole in the wall restaurant taco, then you have your gourmet taco. So, like, there's this place out in Colorado. It's a franchise. It's called Fuzzy's Tacos, and it's more like of a gourmet type, artisan taco. It's got different shit in it that you wouldn't see in a street taco or a taco truck.
Yeah, I don't go to those places.
They're good.
Yeah, I have a hard time with paying more than $10 for Mexican food. Like, to me, it should be all street tacos.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard to fuck up a street taco. Like with it, I mean, it's basically your tortilla, your onion, your cilantro, and the meat. And then the chili is usually on the side, a lime on the side. So it's the lime, the cilantro, and the onion that really jazz it up. If you're living dangerously, then you want to get the hot sauce, go for it. But
Okay.
generally, all the meat is cooked the same way. It's cooked with the same seasoning, like a seasonal type thing. And
Well,
it's grilled.
Depends on the type of taco. I mean, look at like an al pastor. It's grilled, but it's a little different. A barbacoa, we're actually doing the traditional barbacoa where it's in the pit in the ground. So there's like I said, there's just so many variations. I couldn't even define my favorite taco. I know that I have this story and this memory of San Felipe tacos, but also have a Clanton and I, when we traveled across the country, stopped in El Paso in this place, and they had some of the best al pastor tacos, and it wasn't an al pastor that I was used to, like off the spit. It was more of like a braised meat that they called al pastor, and it had pineapple in it that they put in after, and that was ridiculous. So I having a hard time defining what the best taco is.
I've been on a kick lately when I do order street tacos. Is I ask for half chorizo and half asada.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's so good.
Mm-hmm. The combination, like a combo.
Yeah.
And then you start getting into the weird shit. I mean, I'm not a big tongue or cabeza, but like give me a buche or a chicharron or some of the other stuff. I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Like your the chorizo is always a good option for a taco.
Yeah,
there used to be a taco truck in East LA we used to go to, and they had a chorizo taco, and we used to always go up and be drunk and taco de pescuez. I don't know. It's one of those things. So it was a tough one. It's a tough one. When you get to like a king taco, like to me that's just
generic.
The old days. Well, no, back then it was not really generic. It was its
back
own
in the
flavor.
day, yeah.
Back in the day, it was its own flavor. It was an experience, and I probably have more memories of it being way better than it ever was.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's just childhood memories that it's better than it is when you're an adult, and you get back, you're like, why did I even eat this?
Yeah,
but no, it was.
The only nostalgia that doesn't break is the chicken nugget.
Really?
Yeah. The chicken nugget is still nostalgic for me, and it tastes the same now as it did when I was a kid.
I'm not eating a chicken nugget. I haven't had a chicken nugget
and I'm talking McDonald's chicken nugget.
Oh, that's the only chicken nugget. It's a McNugget. Yeah, that's the only chicken nugget there is, isn't it?
Well, you got the ones from Burger King and the ones from Carl's Jr. or Hardee's that's shaped like a star.
Yeah, I think only McDonald's makes a chicken nugget. When I think of McDonald's McNuggets,
the McDonald's chicken nugget is probably the top 10 food item for everybody.
Worst thing you ever put in your mouth?
The worst thing I've ever put in my mouth?
Yeah, the top 10 of the worst things you've ever put in your mouth is McDonald's chicken nugget. No, but yeah,
Can you hear that thunder?
Is that what's popping off out there?
Oh, yeah, it's going bad right now. It's raining sideways like a motherfucker. The wind's blowing pretty good. So I'm waiting for any moment now for my phone to just start screaming. There's a tornado warning.
To kick you out.
Yeah.
Let's see. What does it look like? It's
moving.
It's moving. So it's like, because you're Shelbyville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's kind of like.
Oh, it's a fast moving one too. It looks like, or is that just sped up?
Too. It's sped up, but it's pretty fast. That's moving.
Yeah, they said it was going to move.
And you're kind of right in the middle, and you're kind of like in the middle here. So It's not really. It's around you, so you're hearing it definitely around you, but luckily it's kind of.
So there were supposed to be two cells. They predicted two cells merging over the county by 6 o'clock.
Could be it down here. It's this right here that's coming up.
Yep.
It's down here. Still in Alabama.
Greenbow, Alabama. Fucking forest.
So yeah, so what is your favorite taco? I mean, can you pinpoint one that like our taco experience and just like you can always remember that taco experience and go, that was like a great taco. I have two that I can remember. I have a nostalgia of the King Taco. There's also a place here in Mesa that's really good, but I don't put it on the radar as the killer taco that is my favorite taco.
I think I can more or less eliminate the tacos from bad to good. So Matt takes me hunting over in Missouri, and it's the Boot Hill, Missouri, and he takes me to this one Mexican restaurant that he swears up and down it's good.
Matt is white as fuck too.
I'm like, I'll be the judge of that. So they do have one thing that's good, and it's really hard to not be good, and it's basically a chorizo with queso dip.
Okay.
So we get that, and it's good. The first time I went in and I got the tacos, and they gave me the tortillas on the side, and you had to build your own taco. I was like, no, that's not how this is supposed to go. And they put it on a wax piece of paper, and all the tortillas were stuck together. And I tried to get one off of the wax paper, and it was stuck to the wax paper. The beans were runny. The rice was very salty. I was like, this is not the jam at all. So we went back another time, and I got a fajita burrito. I'm like, hard to fuck up a fajita burrito. But they did.
They did it?
Yeah, it was okay.
Exceptional. They were exceptional at fucking up a fajita burrito.
It was okay, I should say. It wasn't what it should have been. So I'm sure we're going to be going again this year. I'll have to try something else because that's Matt's go-to when he's in that area for hunting. And more times than not, I'm the designated driver because they like to get pictures of margaritas from there. Bunch of fucking lushes. Gotta drink the margs. And so the waitress is also like really rude.
Well, that's authentic.
Yeah. You would think the tacos would be good.
Yeah. You think yeah.
But yeah, it's easier for me to eliminate places that had bad tacos than it is to say this is the good one or this was the exceptional one.
I've eaten tacos everywhere, and I'm just like thinking about my favorite taco, and that's one of those things where I have my absolute most favorite sushi place that I've ever eaten.
That's easy to do. I can easily point to my favorite sushi place ever.
Right, my best burger place, but I cannot pinpoint my favorite taco, and that was the point of this question.
Yeah,
was how hard it is to put down your favorite taco and go between the different styles and types and go, this one is absolutely my favorite. Can't do it.
Nope. Even backyard barbecue tacos that I've had at friends' houses, they're all really good, always really good. But to just pinpoint one exceptionally good taco that sticks out from all the rest, unless it's an artisan taco that there's just a different flavor profile, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
We might have to go on some sort of a taste test hunt.
This.
I know.
We keep saying this. We got to do it.
We need funding for this. We need an RV. And,
I have one.
You do? I thought it was just
I have a truck, a travel
yeah.
trailer.
That's good enough.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
We can stop in a rest stop. We can stop in a KOA. We can stop wherever we want to. I have a truck that pulls it. We can set up cameras in there and go through where we want to go through. If
We'll have to
we
get a
stop and
package.
eat.
We'll have to get a package of hot dogs for when you fall asleep.
Oh, damn. We don't need a hot dog. When we're going, no hot dogs are needed.
We might if we break down. Hey, remember those hot dogs that I was slapping you in the face with? We need to eat those now.
Time to eat those. It's lunchtime. Oh, jeez. So, yeah, that was it. It was just something I was laying in bed thinking about last night. It's like, I can't pinpoint that one thing, that one taco. I just go like, that taco ruins the rest of the tacos for me. I don't have one of those.
Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah. I'm with you there.
Okay.
Let's move on to your other topic that you wanted to get into. And there's two that we haven't covered yet. And I'm picking this one because I think it's kind of funny that you want to talk about Little League.
Why?
Because you don't have any boys.
So I don't have any boys, but my nephews are 8, 9. And they just started playing Little League, and we've been going to games. And
they're right, aren't they?
They're fucking great. And seeing some of the stuff that happens. My nephews are 2 exceptional young men, but they're not very good at baseball. They're the ones that the coach are always yelling. They're in the outfield, and the coach is always yelling, "Pay attention!
Yeah.
Put your glove on your hand!
Yeah.
Quick kick in the grass!" You know that, all that right? That's happening. They're the one like that. My nephew Joe, he was in right field, and kid just blasts one over the first baseman's head in the corner, and he's looking this way. Ball's over there behind him, and he's like, and everything, and everyone's running around him, and he finally turns around. Everyone around him, like, and he starts running. I'm like, dude, where are you going? They already got it. They're well past your chance to get that ball. Is flew right past you.
So I coached a little league team. My nephew's when he was, I think 6 years old or something like that, 7, maybe young, maybe it was 6, but it was t-ball. So it's the first step to learning baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That tested my patience like nothing else has ever in my life.
That will get you,
because they're not my kids, obviously, and you can't just like, "Are you fucking stupid?" You can't do that.
Yep.
So, and then you have to remember they're just kids,
and most of them are boys, and boys of that age are just fucking stupid. And they don't get any better when they're older. But I grew up on the baseball field. So from 6, 7 years old up, we lived at the baseball park. I didn't play t-ball. I think I started in single A, so they're already getting pitched to. I played in the streets. I had friends. I was a baseball kid. I just never played in there. I wasn't good by any means, but I wasn't a complete noob. And my nephews are complete noobs. They've never owned a glove or a bat. I think we tried to play wiffle ball camping last summer, and I think we pitched about 3 balls, and they both lost interest and walked away.
See, I think it comes down to getting a kid to watch a baseball game or watching a season to get them to the concept of it. So when I first started playing, it was t-ball, And I asked my dad specifically for coaching advice because he was my coach from T-ball all the way until I got into high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, hey, so these kids, they're like, as soon as the ball's hit off the tee, they're all chasing the ball. And he just starts laughing. I'm like, was I like that as a kid? And he's like, no, you were actually like disciplined as a kid playing baseball. You knew what you were doing because you watched a lot of baseball before you actually got to the field. My dad him and I would always watch baseball games on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. You understand having some understanding of the game is helpful.
Yeah. So I think it comes down to that, where a lot of these kids, they are playing because their parents are like, hey, do you want to play T-ball this year? Like, okay, sure. What's T-ball?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I get to buy new stuff. I get to wear a uniform. There's snacks. Okay. I'm there for the snacks. My kid used to play soccer, and she used to tell the coach, I'm just here for the snacks. I'm like, fucking kid. But I grew up, like I said, playing baseball, and then I umpired for a number of years and helped coach and do stuff throughout baseball. So I've seen the kids all through, from the ones that really don't want to be there, the ones that want to be better, the ones that are pretty good, and the ones that are really good. And you go out there and you see the ones that are really good, and you're just like, holy hell, that kid's probably been like throwing a ball and hitting the ball since they're like 2 or 3.
Yeah. My dad used to just throw pop-ups in our front lawn. And one of my neighbors had a huge row of rose bushes. And one time he just let one go a little too far, and I'm backpedaling, and I fell into the rose bush. And I remember just like laying in there, I'm stuck, like, I'm stuck. Ow, ow. And I'm trying to move, and he's like, don't move, I'll get you. And I'm trying to move, and I'm like crying, and it's hurting. And he's like, don't
making
move.
It worse.
Yeah. And he comes and he just grabs me by the shirt and just yanks me out of it.
I just pull that scab off.
And he's just like, I'm sorry.
Pay attention to your surroundings, kid. That could have been a wall. It could have been another player. It could have been a cliff. You never know. Come on, pay attention to your surroundings, kid.
Where the fuck was the warning track?
There was no warning track. That just brought that up. I was just having some nostalgia of my younger days playing, and then watching these kids and seeing them play and seeing them get better was a big thing. Is from day one, we went to the park to go practice, and they didn't know how to address the plate. They didn't really know how to hold the bat, throwing the ball, catching the ball, none of that. And I see them just progressing a little bit. So I think at the end of this year, they'll either decide they want to do it again or decide they're not going to do it again. At least I'm seeing some growth and some change in them, and hopefully they decide that they want to do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I prefer that than going to see pros play. We get to go see high school football, high school basketball, now high school baseball with one of our friend's sons in doing high school baseball. So I'm going to start going to a few games there. Nice. I get some T-ball games coming, which it's just fun as hell.
So college baseball just started, and I was actually asking Matt Loxley about the environment for Tennessee and Knoxville, what it's like there, and he's like, it's a blast. But he suggested I go check out Vanderbilt because it's just right here in Nashville. So,
yeah, Vanderbilt is usually a pretty top ranked team. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to check out a Vanderbilt game. We don't have a Major League Baseball team here yet. They're working on it. They're trying to get a franchise here, and I hope they do. And I hope, from the rumors, there's some rumor that they might put it in Murfreesboro.
Oh, okay.
And if they do, I'm getting season tickets.
That would be nice. Yeah.
If it's in Nashville, I am not getting season tickets.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I'm not driving an hour and a half to Nashville all the time. because Nashville, first of all, the traffic sucks.
The traffic up the freeway is shit.
Yeah.
And then navigating when you get into downtown, if it's going to be downtown where the Titan Stadium is or where the hockey stadium is, you're in the middle of freaking Broadway and all the other shit from downtown Nashville.
Yeah.
So that would just suck ass.
Yeah. One of the proposals is having the stadium near Titan Stadium, which I don't see that happening. They're already running out of room downtown, and they want to have it along the riverfront. I don't see it happening. There's not enough real estate there for it to there's just not enough real estate to put it, period. So that's why
the traffic would be terrible though too.
Yeah. And that's why they're talking about having it in Murfreesboro, because there's a lot of area there that's still open, and it's still technically Nashville proper, technically.
Yeah. You're in the subs. So
yeah,
you'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would be it. And I think that would be a big plus, because people in those more suburban areas of the big city are more likely to come out to the games than people that live in and around the big city.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much to do in the big city. It's just another thing that happens that you're not going to.
Right.
Whereas you put it a little further out, you could hopefully attract more clientele.
I mean, look at all these other teams that have stadiums outside of a city, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing horrible. I mean, they're still drawing crowds and big crowds. So, yeah,
and it depends on the city and how their major metropolitan area is set up and where their largest area of population are, and down that corridor, there's a lot happening down that southeast of Nashville area.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was our thing, is we had season tickets for the Diamondbacks for years, but I'd pay for season tickets, get 40 games, and we go to 4. I think the last year we went to 2. So I spent most of the year StubHubbing all my tickets to try to get my money back on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally I was like, I can't do it. Then we even switched to just a weekend plan, and then girls and school and activities and all the other shit that they do. It was never right. We went to, I think we get a 14 game pack, and we went to 1 game. I was like, it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's how they draw you in. We know you can't go to all 86 games, but this 14 pack is awesome. Perfect for you.
Yeah. You should be able to get to this, all of these games. I'm like, yeah, can't go to that one. Nope. Can't go to that one. Yeah. It sucks. So.
All right. So we'll wrap that up. And the last topic that we want to touch on is hobbies other than off-road and guns that you're interested in.
Yeah.
That's an easy one for me. I mean, I have a race simulator in my office.
Yeah.
I have golf clubs right here in my office.
Your golf clubs.
I have a bow, compound bow. And that's not guns. I mean, it's technically shooting shit.
Yeah, it's hunting, but
killing animals. Yeah. But so yeah,
and photography.
Obviously.
Yeah, I just started thinking about stuff. I have golf clubs. I would love to go golf more. I just don't. I used to do it more often. I just don't. I hadn't for a long time, and then I bought that shitty golf clubs I told you about with the freaking hard grips that didn't work, and then I got this other set which are just the Callaway knockoffs, but they're decent enough for the caliber of player that I am.
Yeah, I actually just went on Saturday just to knock off that winter rust. I went to the driving range just to, get my swing back into form, see where I'm at with what needs to be done with my swing, and I actually did pretty well. I only had a few slices with my driver, so I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now for not playing all winter.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I think we did the driving range a couple of months ago. My buddy Greg and I went to the driving range, and it was just went out there and hit some balls, and went and sat at the freaking clubhouse, had some lunch and a beer, and it was a good afternoon. So I think I should probably do that. I have a fish tank that you can't see in here, but you hear it occasionally when it's sitting there. I have a Scout that I've kind of got back to building again.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I know I get a lot of shit for it, but it's not what I started building. When I started building it, it was it's a whole different animal to what that was when I started building it.
So it was a Scout.
Some components are the same.
Bronco.
It was a Scout. Now it's a Bronco. So iterations of everything has changed. I mean, everything has changed. Everything that originally was supposed to go in that, except for the motor that I built, is all been changed and rearranged and redone and all different. So it was like, oh yeah, it looked more complete before. I'm like, yeah, because it was all taken apart and all new stuff added in. So it's a whole different build now. So that I got the welder out and actually did some welding. So yeah, I just stuff like that. I do enjoy woodworking, but I don't do a lot of that anymore. And then building around the house, I mean, I think I posted shit ton of pictures of projects and stuff that I've done around the house. I enjoy. Well, I have enjoyed that. I'm not enjoying much of it anymore. I'm just like, fuck it. Can we just hire someone?
Yeah, I have a few home projects that I need to get on. One of them, I think I briefly talked about it last week. So the 1-year warranty on the house had just expired, and we put in the last bit of claims. Some of the drywall screws were popping out from the house just settling. Mm-hmm. So the deal was that they would fix those holes and put the mud over them and that sort of thing. But they don't sand that. They don't knock it down. They don't sand it down or paint, which is kind of fucked up. So
yeah,
that's we have to do that. And it's not a big deal because these guys did a good job. There's very, very little that we have to knock down of the drywall mud. And then it's just a roller over a few spots. It's not a huge deal, but we want to repaint anyways because it's a flat white and we want to do a gloss. Because if you touch these walls with just a fingernail, there's a mark.
Yeah. Flat paint is terrible. I think everything in this house is eggshell. Not quite a gloss, but you can touch it without it marking. You can wipe it with the washcloth, and it won't just end up all on the washcloth.
Yeah. So that's one of the projects we wanted to finish up. That just happened, so this is probably going to happen next week. We need to go to Sherman-Williams and pick out some paint, do a couple accent walls and that sort of thing.
Nice.
And then spring just started, so I've been, doing the typical homeowner. I'm out there watering the grass once in the morning, once in the evening. Yeah.
I was out Saturday. Yeah, like a freaking zombie, like out there, like trying to clean up the garden, which was overrun with weeds, and it's terrible.
Yeah,
but should be harvesting some onions soon. I have some celery out there. Some peppers are growing in nicely. I think there's some peas out there. I don't eat peas, but there's peas out there.
How's your weed plant looking?
I don't have one of those. And legally I can grow one. Legally I can grow 18 of them here.
Why haven't you? Is it because of the kids or just you don't know how? Because it does take some skill to grow pot.
Yeah, I can figure it out. I figure out how to make palm trees live in the desert. I can figure out how to make a weed plant live in the desert. No, it's just one of those things. Like,
Is it because your sheriff is your backdoor neighbor?
No, don't even care. I walk out there with the joint all the time.
He's probably just
No.
lounging on his deck, and you're out there smoking pot. Oh, smells like Armando's outside.
Doesn't matter. It's all legal, so it doesn't matter. I'm on my property. I'm in my property. I'm within my legal rights. Arizona, you can grow 6 plants per adult, so that's 18 that I can grow with the residents that live in this house. I don't know. Just don't. Probably because the same reason I hate the other aspects of the garden. We, I grew Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. Well, we had room and I planted 1 plant of Brussels sprouts. I probably should have planted 10 of them. Maybe my problem is quantity, not quality. But I plant 1 stalk and it nets like 1.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts. I'm like, okay, that's 1.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts. Usually at the store, they're anywhere between $1.69 and $2.49 a pound. So it would have costed me max $4 for 1.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts from the store. But it cost me $4 for the plant. Cost me water for the 6 months that it grew, or 5 months that it grew. It cost me all the time that I went there and pluck leaves off and pick bugs off and sprayed it with soap to kill bugs and keep aphids off and all that stuff. So it probably cost me $22 to grow $4 worth of Brussels sprouts.
But they're all natural.
So I could assume that I can just go to the dispensary and buy, and it's already there, ready to go for way cheaper than it's going to cost me to grow some stuff. So
yeah,
I'm not growing for now.
That's good stuff.
My dad grew fucking tree. I think last year he harvested last year, and it was 1 bush he got. And his buddy Rob got a flat of starters, gave one to my dad, he grew a couple for himself and gave a couple others away. And my dad's was the only one that really took off, and it was probably 6-7 feet tall. He had buds on it, like cones, like probably 8-10 inches. Once they harvested and bagged everything, I think he said there was 6 pounds.
Wow.
Off of 1 freaking bush. Yeah, it was a lot. Like it was like jars. He had in jar containers, and he's like giving it out to all his friends. Yeah, these old hippie dudes. I'm like, so yeah, maybe, but I'm not into the gardening for losing money anymore. I'm like, next time we're gardening, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do like 1,000 of these, and then we're not buying these for the rest of the year. Like I don't buy green onions anymore. There's green onions that just grow in the garden all the time. Nice. So I have those there. There's parsley out there. I don't eat mint, but there's mint like for days out there. Celery. I haven't bought celery in 9 months. The celery just keeps growing out there. So as soon as it gets hot, they'll probably die off, and we'll have to replant them. But oh well.
Nice.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, on that note, I think we should wrap it up.
Are you hunkering down? Are you looking for shelter?
But
but I can hear it. I can hear it.
That rain is getting hard right now. It's now horizontal. So.
Oh jeez. Let's see what it looks like.
Before we lose power and I just disappear from the screen.
Yeah, you're in the middle of it, and they look like they're kind of convergent below you.
Great. Awesome.
So yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds
all right,
good.
Everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.